So, one of the world's most famous museums was just hit by a spectacular art heist. The target? The Louvre in Paris. But this story is about so much more than just a daring robbery. It's really a story about a vulnerability at the very heart of our culture, and it begs a huge question. Just how safe is our shared history? Let's break down how this all happened and, more importantly, why it matters to all of us.
First things first, let's just talk about the number because it is a big one. The estimated value of the French crown jewels stolen in this daylight raid is a staggering 88 million euros. And we're not just talking about monetary value here. This represents a fortune in cultural history, which is now just vanished.
But what does a number like that actually look like? Well, it looks like this: the absolutely irreplaceable tiara of Empress Eugénie. This isn't just some piece of jewelry. It's a masterpiece, set with over 200 pearls and almost 2,000 diamonds. It's history that you can see and touch, and now it's gone.
Okay, Section 1, 7 minutes at the Louvre. The question on everyone's mind is, how on earth could something like this happen at one of the most secure museums in the world? Well, the most shocking part? The entire heist was over in less than 7 minutes.
And what's so wild here is just how simple their plan was. This wasn't some high-tech Hollywood movie with complex laser grids and all that. Nope. They just parked a truck, used a ladder and a freight lift to get to a window, smashed their way in, and took off on scooters. It was simple, it was audacious, and it was terrifyingly effective.
And here's what they managed to get away with in those few minutes. Not just the Empress's tiara, but also a necklace that Napoleon himself gave to his wife. All told, 8 priceless pieces of French history just disappeared.
But these guys weren't exactly ghosts. They left things behind: gloves, a vest, even the tools they used. And police were able to trace DNA from those items, which led them to a series of arrests. So the net is closing in on the people involved, but the jewels themselves are still missing.
So that brings us to Section 2, a deafening wake-up call. Making arrests is one thing, but the much bigger question is still hanging out there. How is this even possible at the Louvre? This whole thing has forced a really painful look at the vulnerabilities in our most revered cultural institutions.
You don't get much more direct than this. France's own state auditor called the theft a deafening wake-up call. I mean, that's not just a failure, that's a system-wide alarm bell ringing at the very highest levels.
The official investigation turned up some pretty damning findings, and the crucial thing here is, this wasn't just bad luck. The report talked about a chronic, structural underestimation of risk and said security upgrades were moving at a wholly inadequate pace. The bottom line? The security just wasn't good enough. Period.
And it would be a huge mistake to think this is just a Louvre problem. High-value art is a constant target for sophisticated thieves all over the world. The fame of an artist like Picasso, for example, makes his work a prime target. His paintings vanish from galleries, from homes, even while they're being transported.
Which leads us to Section 3. The global hunt begins. With the jewels missing and the thieves likely tied to international networks, the search couldn't just stay in Paris. It's now a global hunt, and that requires a whole new level of cooperation.
This quote from Paris prosecutor Laure Bacchio really captures the mood perfectly. You can feel the determination not to give up. The objective is simple: get the jewelry back, no matter how long it takes.
Yeah, because recovering stolen art of this value isn't something one police force can do on its own. It takes a massive international network, with agencies all over the world sharing intelligence across borders to track the items and stop them from being sold on the black market.
And a key player in this global fight is an organization you might not have heard of, the World Customs Organization, or WCO. Its entire mission is to make customs work better and more efficiently on a global scale, which is absolutely essential for stopping the trafficking of stolen goods.
And to understand their power, just look at these numbers. The WCO has 186 member countries' customs administrations. As you can see right here, that massive membership means they process nearly all, an incredible 99% of world trade. When this network coordinates, very little can cross a border unnoticed.
So how do they actually do it? Well, the WCO develops the international standards for border security, they provide training, and they foster cooperation not just between customs agencies, but also with police and other groups. They even coordinate these big joint operations specifically designed to take down criminal networks.
Okay, final section. Why this heist matters. This brings us to the big picture. Beyond the headlines, why does one heist, even a massive one, truly matter?
because it's about so much more than just the value of what was taken.
Ultimately, the Louvre heist is a symptom of a much, much larger problem. It exposes just how vulnerable our shared cultural heritage really is. These aren't just objects. They are tangible links to our collective past, and they are at constant risk.
And protecting them isn't a simple task. It takes a tireless, coordinated effort that connects the local police who respond to the initial crime with the vast international networks of organizations like the World Customs Organization. Everyone has to work together to secure our history.
And this leaves us with a critical question. To society, these treasures are priceless. But to a thief, they have a very specific price. So how do we, as a global community, protect what is beyond value from those who see only a price tag?